Why are we born over and over again? What is our deal with just taking birth to go through suffering and misery all the time? The Buddha teaches us that suffering is a chain with 12 links in it. And I will read out more about those from this book, An Introduction to Indian Philosophy by Satish Chandra Chatterjee and Dhirendra Mohan Datta. So, here we go. Life suffering, like old age, despair, death, grief, and the like, is there, says Buddha, because there is birth. If a man were not born, he would not be subject to misery. Birth again has its condition. It is the will to become, the force of blind tendency or predisposition to be born, which causes our birth. But what is the cause of this tendency? Our mental clinging to carrying, to grasping the objects of the world is the condition responsible for our desire to be reborn. This clinging again is due to our thirst or craving to enjoy objects like sights, sounds, etc. Wherefrom does this desire originate? We would not have any desire for objects had we not tasted or experienced them before. Previous sense experiences, tinged with some pleasant feelings, is therefore the cause of our thirst or craving. But sense experience could not arise without contact of the sense organs with objects. This contact again would not arise had there not been the six organs of cognition, the five senses, and the manas. These six again depend for their existence on the mind-body organism or the nama rupa, which constitutes the perceptible being of man. But this organism could not develop in the mother's womb and come into existence if it were dead or devoid of consciousness. And this consciousness that descends into the embryo in the mother's womb is only the effect of the past impressions or the samskara of our past existence. And these sanskaras are a result of ignorance or avidya. Ignorance, therefore, is the root cause of impressions or tendencies that cause rebirth. To summarize, we suffer in life because of birth, which is due to the will to be born, due to our mental clinging to the objects. We cling to them because of our desire for those objects, which arises from our sense experiences, which occurs due to the contact between the senses and the objects. Such contact is possible because of the six senses of cognition, which need a mind body to perceive anything. This mind body takes shape in an embryonic organism, which has an initial consciousness that gets formed from the impressions of our past life experiences, which lastly are due to ignorance of the truth. So you see, it's easy for us to assume that all I have to do to stop suffering is not take birth. But that is not in our hands. It's not for us to decide. Being born is an outcome of our ignorance, which comes because we want to crave and fulfill the pleasures of this mind body. And pleasure is like seawater for the thirsty. The more you have, the more you want. And this is what keeps you stuck in the bhava chakra or the wheel of rebirth. Thankfully, you do not have to give up everything or you do not have to live like an ascetic if you want to get rid of this. Nor at the other extreme, you have to continue suffering through your life. You have yoga, which means uniting yourself with the cosmos. Yoga is not just the exercises that we do or the asanas that we follow. It's much more. Yoga means chitta vritti nirodha, which is controlling the cyclical actions of one aspect of the mind, which is called chitta. Yoga leads to indriya nigraha, which is about directing your senses towards a constructive outcome. You can check out what the 4 types of yoga are that Swami Vivekananda talks about in this video. And I'll also drop a couple of useful links about yoga in the description, which might help you understand it better. Don't worry, such a state where you can control your senses will not turn you into an ascetic or a monk. You will still enjoy the pleasures of life. You will still pursue wealth. You will still do your daily duties without getting enslaved by any of them. You will be able to befriend your mind, find the things that fulfill you, and do something for its own sake, which means you can subtract your likes and dislikes and attachment. And that is what discipline is. The consistency at doing what has to be done, when and where it has to be done, how it has to be done. This is not an overnight phenomenon. It's a long journey, one that could take one life or many. And along the way, knowledge keeps getting revealed, just like a stage gets revealed when the curtains slowly rise. And this knowledge, according to Swami Vivekananda, is the most glorious journey that we humans can undertake. Once you have this knowledge, you won't ask, why are we born or why are we reborn? It won't matter whether you're born or not, because in every moment, you're free. And that's what we all want, right? Freedom. What do you think we can do to reduce our suffering in life? Leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. And don't forget to check out my free 7-day email course on frameworks to find and fulfill your own purpose. Its link is in the description. And until next time, namaste.